Alrighty everybody, welcome back to Full Board Vision, the one and only, and therefore greatest, Blindfold chess channel, brought to you by your humble host, Joshua Blinqua. Alright, while you're all just sitting comfortably, we're going to drop in with some Blindfold games. And here we go. So, game has begun. Don't want to set that as my default browser right now. Okay, we're in a Sicilian defense. I'm going to play knight f3. Just interested as to whether you can hear my my commentator. So let's just... yeah. Knight c6.
Expected.
Yes, I think you could hear that. Fantastic. Commentator's in. Great. Alright, we're in the open Sicilian. This is like the old main line, isn't it? Knight f6. Yeah, okay. I don't like this variation, I've got to be honest. Knight c3. Gonna play e5. Usually. Kicking the knight to b5, but they played e6. Okay. The reason that I think that's not great is we can trade on c6, and now we can push e5. And that's the reason why typically you play d6 or e5 in the Sicilian. So I think we can just push e5. When the knight lands on d5, we will capture it. I suppose we could have gone knight e4, maybe. Okay, now bishop. And do we want to play bishop f4? And bishop d3, I think. Okay, so what happened? Yeah, we'll have a look later and see what the correct way to meet that position is, because that will be interesting. Did we just hang e4? No, e4. The pawn is on e5. Typical Blindfold question. And expect me to get things wrong. The board that I can see is the one on the bottom left. By virtue of some clever engineering from my graphic design team, you can see the annotations on your live board, but I can't see the pieces. Unless I look over there. Okay, I think, you know, realistically, black may even be better, even though they've got double pawns. They can probably just, you know, shed the weakling and have a great center. So, I mean, we'll have to look into that, because I'm interested to see what the correct response is, the correct way to treat that position from the engine's perspective. Alright, our opponent plays bishop a6. Okay, I see what they're doing here. They're saying if you take us, we're going to play queen a4 and win the bishop back. Clever way of trading pieces. I think we just don't react to that, right? We can castle short. I think that's what we should do. Allow a trade of bishops. Not a problem. I don't think that was a hanging bishop. Okay, now f4, f5 looks like an attractive plan. Now here, should we trade or should we try and get a piece on f4? I think we should play bishop f4, right? Do they still have a b pawn? I don't think so. The b pawn took on c6, yep, and then the c pawn took on d5. That's what occurred. So bishop f4 looks fine. If we're going to play f4, f5, we need to make sure it works, and I think... okay. Forced, I think. Not a difficult move to find. Okay, and that's clarified things a little bit. Now bishop f4, f5, sorry, f4, f5 looks like an attractive plan. We just have to watch out for a queen b6 with a check, which is going to pick off the b2 pawn. So maybe we want to play b3. So d6 has come along to try to unsettle our bishop here. Isn't g2 just hanging there? g7, sorry. I feel like bishop g7, rook g8, queen takes h7 is just a nice way of proceeding. I think it's better than nice, actually. I think that wins an exchange. How do you get out of that? It's forced. Bishop g7, rook g8, queen h7. Remember, I can't see the pieces. By the way, the bishop's on e5, not d4. So this is what I mean. Rook g8, queen h7. Okay, and there's not much else in the position, right? I think that's a huge problem. I don't see how you get out of that. Probably you've got to play rook g7, queen g7, and you're just miles down. I think bishop d6 was a big time blunder.
Question mark.
Bishop g7, rook g8, queen takes h7. Not a particularly difficult game to play, and it should be an easy endgame to win. Forced. Queen h7. The opponent plays... Ah, okay, they protect that. I didn't see that move. Fair enough. They protect their rook. It now can't move. I like the move c4. I do. Do we need to be careful? I don't think we need to be careful. You know, I do really like c4. Just break it open. Break it apart. Against this king on d7. But do we need to give a pawn back? Do we really need to do that? I think the answer is no. I don't think we need to do that. Maybe we just develop first. Maybe we just develop. And we allow them to have a think about what they want to do. There's no need to rush. So c4 may have been a good move. But I think it's much better now that the rook's already on the d file. And in the case of c4 dc, we have a pin to work with. For example, a move like bishop e5 will be possible in that position. And it looks like it just wins material. So c4 looks like a threat now. It's going to cause problems. Now this move I didn't see, and it looks actually very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. Okay. Oh, did we give the... Oh, that's clever. That is a clever move. Dear. Oh dear. We missed that. Okay, we could take... Oh, rook takes bishop. It's disgusting. Can't believe that. I really cannot believe that that has been done to us. Alright, we're going to lose a piece. So what's the best way to lose the piece? c4 doesn't seem to work. Play rook g3 at least. I mean, if we allow this, we're going to have to play... Ah, have we got that move? We've got that move. No, we haven't. No, we haven't. Okay. I think that's the best we can do. I think c4 is the best we can do. Oof, c4, rook takes. Queen here. Rook h8. Queen f3. Bishop takes h2. Big problems afoot. Could go like so. Rook takes, queen takes, rook takes. Yeah, it doesn't help. We go here, they just mate us, so that doesn't help. Realistically, I still think c4 is the only shot. Rook takes is just disgusting. Queen h3, rook h8. Will they spot the move rook h8? Yep. Still, this actually threatens queen f7, so... Probably the bishop is coming in. Okay. Oh. Got rook on f1. Oh, Jesus, this is just carnage. Absolutely disgusting. Still, luckily there's nothing on a dark square, so... Oh my word. This is very deflating, because we had such a good position. Right, so now they'll just... Yeah, I just think queen h6 is just curtains. Queen h5, actually. g8. Has a rook on g7. Okay, so they've tripled up. Okay, we can at least play that against that. We can at least try to meet the main threats. Okay, so we've got the c4. So we're ready to maybe land rook takes e5. e5? Queen g5 was just a good move. I mean, well done. So they got the rook back to h8. And that looks like you shouldn't be doing that. A reason why I like this move is because it does threaten to capture on e6. Guess what they're intending. Okay, but now there is actually rook takes d5, right? Because we're defending the rook, which is attacking the queen. We might have some chances now, you know. We may just have some chances against Mohammed Mahdi AK. Full vision, y'all. Queen g5. Great move. Great move. Easy to miss. And I missed it. Now then, of the queen moves, the obvious one is queen h6. Interestingly, we can play queen f7. Takes, and then we can take a whole queen back. They'll take our rook. Yeah, that's possible. Can't we also play Queen B7? I think we can also play Queen F5. So their pawn structure is like this. Let's think, because we might have a win here. I think we might have a win. And our pawn structure is like this, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we've got an extra pawn somewhere. So where's our extra pawn? Oh, they don't have this one. Oh my word. This looks like we must have a win. Even if it involves removing this bishop. Because their rooks are... And they don't have a pawn here either. Oh, so maybe they do have another pawn somewhere. We don't have a c pawn. Right, there must be a win here. There must be a win. Okay, if we just play Queen F5... That forces the king to an adjacent file, which we can land a check on. I think their rooks are like here and here. Their queen is here. I think they've given it. They've done it. They've done it for us. They're exploiting the pin on the G pawn, right? That was their idea. But unfortunately, they've allowed Queen F5 check. And I think that's enough for us to win this game. You've got to act fast in these positions. Like, black was completely winning. But you've got to act quickly. And don't give your opponent an opportunity to give you some checks when your king is just wide open. There's also Queen B7 wasn't possible because the knight's on D5. Rook is on D5, sorry. Now then, the king will have to move to either C7 or E7. Because if they go back to D8, there's rook takes D6, which comes with a check. The move I'm expecting actually is king C7. Then I'm going to go rook C1 check. And what they've got to do is move so we can't capture this bishop with a check, I'm sure. So probably there. Probably king B8. Then we've got, unfortunately, I think it's mate there, unfortunately. King A8 and queen D5 is a mate. So after king C7, rook C1. I mean, there are just checks everywhere on every square. They've just allowed all of our pieces to play against their king, with none of theirs defending at all. Just the D6 bishop trying to hold the fort. That's unfortunate. We've got very lucky in this game, but we should be able to go ahead and win this. Feeling confident. With 1 minute 31, full board vision. I don't think there's even a word for the tactics that are about to occur, because I don't think anything special is going to happen. We're just going to give checks, putting our pieces on good squares, and the black king is just going to get mated. I feel that way without being able to see concretely all the variations. Well, I guess they could try to go up to F8. That might be an idea. But unfortunately the rooks... yeah, if we give a check on the back rank, the rooks on G8 and F8, sorry, on G7 here, and H8 would prevent a king on F8 from getting anywhere, right? This would be the situation. We'd probably be giving a queen check here, which is probably going to be mate, because our rook would be on the E file. And, yep, our opponent's having a good think and probably realising that Queen H5.
Blunder.
Queen H4. Come on, let's get our coordinates right. Okay, but Queen G5 was a very good move, and I'm pretty sure it was a winning move. Anyway, my graphic design consultant has given me some advice. So I'm going to be switching up the design. And I'm going to be removing the blindfold board. So you guys won't have to have that on screen, because you don't need it. But remember, I can't see the pieces. So our opponent is tanked, and you know, probably they're outside having a word with themselves, to be honest. You know, they probably just knocked their laptop, not just throwing their phone at the wall, right? But it's still on, so they've not disconnected. But they're probably just, you know, furiously, ragingly shouting expletives into the void. How they could have thrown away such an obviously fantastic position with this move, Queen H4.
Blunder.
In fact, I think Queen H4 deserves a
Double question mark.
because I think it probably turns a winning position to a losing one, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Shouldn't be jaws of victory, should it? It should be something else. Not snatching. What would be the correct way to reverse engineer this metaphor? Not reverse engineer. Invert this metaphor. Look, I can see why there's no move being made, but, you know, it's not great fun for the stream, is it? Why don't I just try and place every piece before the time runs out? That sounds good. Okay, our position. Pawn structure. We've just got the 4 pawns, I believe. Queen on f5, rook on d5, rook on f1, king on g1. Our opponent has a king on d7, a bishop on d6. They have 3 pawns, like so. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pawns versus 3? That's not right yet. No, I don't think that's right. Alright, they've got queen on h4, a rook on... they don't have a pawn here. They've got a rook on h8, rook on g7, and that's it. And they've got a lesson to learn. King c7. Well, I thought that was going to be game over, but yeah. Well, rook c1 check. I think the king can't go to b6 if we just take this with check. This is what I thought was going to happen. Right. Now we go here, and the king's going to go. This is a line that I called moments ago. Queen d5 is going to be mate. Nice. Well, I called it, and that's what happened. Let's have a quick look at the analysis, because I'm interested to see what to do in that Sicilian variation, because it's come up a couple of times. So let's have a quick look. So I'm talking about this variation. Okay, so actually, so what I did was correct, but here you want to play knight e4. Got it. Right, knight e4. That's the move to remember. And after queen c7, what about bishop e7? It's apparently a mistake. You can go knight d6. I mean, okay, right. And then I guess you want c4, c5. Perhaps. They play c5. We go c4. Knight b4. We just leave the knight in b4 apparently. Okay, but anyway, the point is that we don't trade the knights. And I think trading knights is, yeah, black's slightly better. And I'm surprised it's only slightly, really. Clever little tactic, right? Bishop takes here. Queen a5 check. Bishop d2 or queen d2 or maybe c3. Yeah, I think c3 makes sense. Capture here and they're preventing us from castling, so we probably have to go queen e2. Interesting. Okay. I don't think. Well, let's carry on and let's just continue. Have a little look at what happened. So, okay. This was well played. Now, was bishop takes g7 good? Yes. Queen h7 was good. All right, queen g5 is just such a fantastic threat. Bishop d4. Just bring the bishop back. Bring it to e3. And bishop d4 is then on e5. Engines find great lines. Queen f7. Check. That's not that great. Okay. Yeah, that's the bishop d4 is such a good idea to just attack f7 straight away. Okay, that's what we should have done. We allowed queen g5 and we're losing. Never give up. All right. Even here, mate in 5. Just wasn't it just queen h6? Yeah, queen h6. Instead our opponent doubled on the g file. And I think now queen h4 is just losing. Here, yeah. Even rook takes d6 is strong. Queen f5, they're the only 2 winning moves. Ah. This one kind of had in mind. I think it's obvious, isn't it? It has to be a check. Mate in 1 here? Oh yeah, okay, mate in 1. Nice. Okay, were there any other options? Yeah, just too easy. Too easy for white. Alright, we're going to jump into another game. That was a good game. I think we did and didn't deserve it, if that makes any sense. We did deserve it in the sense that, I mean, over the course of the game, we played better chess than our opponent. But if we allow moves like queen g5, we're not gonna get anywhere. Or we're not gonna get as far as we would like to. So we're in a Scotch gambit. e5. Now we're gonna play d5, bishop b5, knight e4, knight takes d4, and there's a bunch of different moves you can play there. I don't like this variation. Okay, I think I know what we should do. Looks like our opponent doesn't know the variation. Let's just remember what's on the board. That's their pawn structure. And this is ours. So we're currently a pawn ahead. The knight will capture the pawn. We've got 2 knights developed, and they have 1 knight and a bishop developed. And we're currently... And it's an even position, but it's a very well-known position. There's a lot of theory here. I had a very painful game in the British Championships in this position. From the white side. So this is one of these positions that somehow I don't like it and I don't know it very well, but it's in my opening repertoire for both colours. It's not good. I should sort that out, but you know, there's other things to do in life, aren't there? Yep, okay, it was played by our opponent, so I'm going to go in and play bishop c5. Now this looks superficially bad, because we chose to ignore this 2-piece attack. The pressure on c6, but the point is that we've also got pressure on f7, f2, excuse me, just when the knight vacates d4, that will work out for us. So there's a lot to calculate here, but actually I think the best move, or the move that gives white the best chances, is to just play bishop e3 and defend that knight a second time. It's not really attacked twice, but you do defend it Whereupon, I think we have to play bishop d7. No, maybe we can castle. That's the point. Yeah, we castle. So I'm expecting bishop e3, then we're going to castle. You know, we're ahead on time. Can you believe that? Highly, highly unusual state of affairs. If you'd like to join the stream, just get in touch. We will be, yeah, got it. Bishop e3, good move. We're going to castle. We're inviting subs to play Blindfold chess with the chance to win a full board vision. Now, do we take on e3? I don't usually play this position for the black side. Do we take on e3 or do we take on c6? I mean, our queen is attacked, isn't it? So it's pretty obvious that we take on c3. Yeah. c6, excuse me. And bishop c6 is not a check. Okay, so you can't play bishop c6. Okay, so what's the situation now? We've got an unusual pawn structure has occurred. They've got a kind of, well, completely normal pawn structure. Do they have a pawn on e5? I think they do, yeah. It's a pawn on e5. But that would put us with both 7... Wait, that... I'd be a pawn down there, I don't understand. Do I have a pawn on d5? I'm guessing I do, yeah. Yeah, I have a pawn on d5, yeah. Okay. What's going to happen is bishop takes, knight takes. Bishop takes check. Ah, it's not a check. Bishop takes. Yeah, or actually queen takes. That's what might be played. Yeah, that's what I think is going to occur. So let me put that on the board again. To let you know what I think is going to occur. You can't do that. I'm sure that you can't play bishop c6. Attacking this rook? Okay, why can't we do that? I'm sure this is wrong. Can't we take this bishop here and then come in with queen h4? Check. I mean, we can take this bishop here, and if they collect the rook, I think we've got bishop takes. Bishop takes f2. That forced king h1. King f1, excuse me. And we could also play knight takes f2. Okay. Gotta trade bishops first, so what's the problem? There's also bishop g4 ideas. Not yet, exactly, but... Okay, I think we've got to take on e3. At least I don't see any other idea. So currently there's pressure on d5. I mean, we're at piece up, so I don't think they can take here at all. We take on f2 and we just recapture, and we'll have a lot of material. Have a lot of material. We've got a big time advantage. Full board vision. The premier YouTube Blindfold chess stream. Okay, now... I think... I've got a feeling deep inside, well, yeah. Okay. Aren't we a piece up here? We're a piece up, so we could play bishop f2, rook f2, knight f2, which hits the queen. King f2. Then, for example, queen h4, check. And there's no g3 in that position, followed by rook g8. I think that's more than enough. If we play bishop takes f2, and they go king h1, I think we can actually retreat. We can give this guy up because we've got knight f2. It threatens knight f2. Okay, so bishop takes f2, rook f2, knight f2. Attacking the queen. There's no time for anything. Remember, there's a d5 pawn, so the queens are not facing off. Probably queen d5 would be played there. That's clever. Yeah, but it's not clever. And then we save our rook, and I think we just end up a piece ahead. No, it won't be a piece ahead. There's a strange material balance. We're currently a piece up. Right, what minor pieces are left on the board? Their bishop. And then knight. Yeah? I think so. For us, these two minor pieces, and a bishop on c8. And a bishop on c8. So we've got three minor pieces. If we take this, they take us, and we take them. They take us. Like so. What will the material balance be? We're a piece up, and we give up two pieces for a rook. So we win in exchange. We win in exchange. Okay, but I think we're also kind of be good on pawns there as well, right? Because they'll have 5 pawns and we'll have 3, 4, we'll have 6. Well, actually, they'll end up winning this pawn, so we'll just have a clear exchange, I think. Bishop takes f2. But there is also queen h4. I don't see a reason not to play that, because we've got rook defense of our rook once the bishop moves. I just think it puts the king back here. I believe. And then we can just play rook b8. But I think queen h4 check first is just more accurate. g3, yeah, is not going to be played. And now I think just rook g8. Right, and the position is very, very simple. So this should be an easy win. Let's just make sure we're not missing anything better. We really want to play rook e8, threatening rook e1 check, but the bishop currently is looking at e8, so we can't do that yet. Okay, rook g8, rook b8. Not a bad couple of games, to be honest with you all. I just saw the position. Apologies. Part and parcel of streaming. I have to have the material on my screen, or else I can't stream it. I just choose not to look in that direction, and you just have to believe me. And I think you can tell by the standard of my play that I'm not scamming you all. I am indeed playing Blindfold. Alright, happy days. That was a decent session. I say that like this game's already over. It feels over. If we were low on time, or our opponent was playing quickly, I might feel differently. But as it stands, I feel fine. So snatching victory, snatching Victory from the... Snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. What should it be? Getting lumped with defeat from the bosom of victory? Lumbered with defeat. Okay, bishop d5. This actually allows rook d8, and I like it. There's also bishop g4. Threaten the position. There's also rook takes b2. There's too many good moves. Oof, this would be such a bad blunder. Oh no, 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 it wouldn't. No, it would not. Okay, we'll force knight c3, I think. Rook takes b2. What about this? I think that's even more annoying because queen to e1 is a mate threat if the queen on d1 is not defending e1. So after bishop g4, probably you've got to go queen d2. Right, I'm just gonna do that. Right, I don't see a problem. I mean, I don't see anything. And I don't feel a problem. I don't feel a problem. Low viewership. Low viewership on this lovely Wednesday afternoon. Okay, bishop g4 played. How do we win this game? I think just by developing our rooks against the on the open file and against the back rank. And this is the importance of like knowing your open theory if you're going to play theory-rich variations. I think our opponent slipped up with one little mistake, one easy to play inaccuracy on move 7, and they got this, and I think it was forced. And this must be completely winning for black. So it underlines the importance of, if you're going to play theory-rich variations, you must know the theory. And if you don't want to do that, then play variations that aren't theory-rich and aren't super sharp. That would be my advice. You know, but I'm 15-50 on lead chess playing Blindfold, so you know. Alright, now we can play rook takes b2. If queen takes b2, we've got queen d1, and that's a shahmat. Checkmate. I quite like the look of that. It just looks annoying, doesn't it? I guess queen b2, rook b2, they'll play knight c3. So maybe not. Let's just play rook e8, threatening rook e1. I'm sure knight c3 will be played. And I think maybe we'll just play bishop e6. Try to contest the d5 bishop. So our pawns, by the way, I'm just making sure I remember the pawn structure because that's a big stumbling block for Blindfold players. It's like this. 5v5. Now they've got an extra pawn somewhere. Oh, they've still got a pawn on e5. Yes, they have. Forgot about that. Alright, we should try to just get this game over nice and quickly. How are they going to defend the e5 pawn? I could have picked up a pawn on b2, but piece activity is equally as important, and I think in fact arguably more important. That's why a gambit works, right? mean, when you say more important, I mean, you're comparing eggs with apples, so it's hard to quantify what you mean by more important. But perhaps it's more important that you might think as a beginner. And these are sort of the 3 dimensions in this kind of chess: the material, the position, and time. But right now, I'm having a great time. My opponent's tanked. I've got all the threats in the position. I'm holding all the trumps. Isolated e-pawn is very weak. The b2 pawn is weak. White has not yet completed their development, with this knight still on b2. b1, way behind the development. The queen is looking at e1 with a mate threat. Should the queen on c1. Protected only by the queen. This is a very, very difficult position to play. Knight c3. Rook e5. Don't know. Maybe you want knight d2, actually, so you can go to f3. Nah, you're just gonna get captured. I think our opponent's just gonna run out of clock. And I'm gonna say goodbye. Knight d2. Okay, yep. Kind of I mentioned that a moment ago. Rook takes e5. Bishop f3. Yeah, okay. That was the idea. This is a threat. It's not a threat. I mean, it's a capture. I think I'll just... The knight on d2 does a grand job. Does a grand job. Okay, I'm going to double up. No, it doesn't do a grand job. Rook b2. Queen b2. Rook e1, check. There's knight f1, can you believe that? Wow. But then there might be queen f2, does that work? Yeah, because then we actually get mated ourselves. Okay, knight f1 is a spectacular move. Rook takes f1, rook takes f1. And we gave up our rook for nothing. Oh well, we get the exchange back, I guess. Okay, bishop takes, knight takes. Let's just double rooks. I don't see any reason not to double rooks. And enjoy a good position. Okay. Now can we play this? I mean, that was kind of the idea. Because it looks like it wins a queen now. So rook e1 check, queen takes e1, rook takes e1, rook takes e1. Threatening a back rank mate? No, queen takes e1 check, knight f1, queen takes. So instead of all of that, we have to play knight f1 first. Rook takes c1. Rook takes c1, queen takes g4, and it's game over. So I believe rook e1 check is game over. Okay, queen takes e1 check. Rook takes e1 check. Rook takes e1 check. Queen takes e1 check. Knight takes e1 check. Queen f1 is not mate. Oh my word, the king was on g1. I just blundered my queen. I can't believe that. And I've got no pieces left.